afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. What an exciting day on the market. We got a nice red panicked market. Well, a little panicked. It's actually silly the reason that we're red. For the most part, a lot of the red that we're seeing is in response to the Fed minutes. So the Fed minutes were red today, and all it really did is it reiterated everything that Jerome Powell had said in the previous meeting. So I'm not sure why people have gotten themselves in such a tizzy over, over minutes. Who knows? Who knows? But we're here. We got a good buying day if you're looking to get in on some cheaper than normal assets. So, especially in the afternoon, it actually interesting. The first half of the day, we were red, but we weren't red a lot. It really wasn't until the afternoon that we really committed to the red. So it's funny, when I was making the thumbnail, I put the red bear on it, but I'm like, I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this one, but no, the market decided to back me up on my red, and it did big time. So we're going to take a look at all of that. We'll look at the market. We're going to look at the heat maps, all of that. We're gonna do the bell, and then we're going to talk as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that CPI that came out yesterday. So we got all of that and much, much more all ahead today. So let's jump into the chat first today. Just very quickly to say hello to those who are already here. All right. We got 9 in here with a double holy banana bread there. Love that. Love that. Jordan's in the house. Hey there, Candace. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Good vibes. Hello, Muhammad. How are you today? And Sammer. Hi. I'll be here till 4:15 and then back to work. Oh, let me guess. You've requested your lunch to coincide with the market close. That is dedication. That is absolutely dedication. Jackie's in the house with a hi, everyone. Okay, let's give me 1 second here. Boom. All right. We're going to bring up the other screen. All right, here we go. Bang. And it's it was white for a moment, but it is back. Well, look at the red. There's a lot of red here, folks. TSX is down a full 0.61%. S&P 500's down about 0.5%, so 0.46. NASDAQ's down 0.12. Look at this. Gold's down a whole 1.75%. Silver's been beating gold lately, and they're also beating them in the fall. They fell a little further, 3.65%, and that's still, well, now look, 3.64. They're in the middle of falling. WTI is down about 1%. Bitcoin is just down a tiny bit, but I mean, well, this here's NVIDIA at 9:47. So NVIDIA has earnings coming out on Thursday, so tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting watch. We're going to watch that. We'll see. I believe it'll be coming out. We'll talk about that on Friday because we do have a bonus market close on Friday. We'll see whether or not NVIDIA, by the power of these earnings, can get to 1,000. We'll see. Just give me 1 second here. All right, there we go. Bitcoin. Just pull this up a little bit. So Bitcoin had a nice little breakout. They have been in this little channel here for a bit, and then they broke. They broke big time. Back up. They made it all the way up to 71.9, so not too shabby. Looks like they're starting to develop another channel. Are they going to break to the upside or the downside? We'll have to take a look. We'll look at this a little bit later. Let's get over to the heat map. Oh boy, there's a lot of red here. This is we got TD down a full percent. Brookfield Corporation's down. Bank of Nova Scotia, so Scotiabank down 1.53%. C&Q's down 2.35. Holy cow! Shopify though, they're doing okay. They're doing okay. Look at that, up 3.55. And everybody loves it when I say Alimentation Couche-Tard. They're up 1.99%. Dollarama's up, not too shabby there. Nutrien's up, but there's still quite a bit of red there. CP's down, CNR is up. Let's take a look at the US. Same kind of story. A lot of red here. Google's down, Apple's down a tiny bit. NVIDIA is actually down 0.65%. So looking to see some big action on NVIDIA tomorrow and Thursday. Or sorry, tomorrow and Friday. So we'll have to take a look and see how that's going to all pan out. Amazon's down. Tesla's always down. It's like we had that nice little bump up, but then it's like, you got a little bit too used to it. All right. Well, let's look at the crypto. Yeah, mostly red. Bitcoin down just a little bit, 0.67. Ethereum's down. Dogecoin is down. There's a few that are up, like this Ton coin. I really don't know anything about Ton coin, but they're in the green. So if you know about Ton coin and you're holding Ton coin, congratulations. You've got some green going there for you. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right, let's bring up Big Me once again. We got Mary in the house. Hello. Loved your picks yesterday. Yeah, those were some really interesting stocks. For those who have not yet, for those of you who've seen the video, for those of you who have not seen it yet, check it out. There's definitely some good ones in there. Now the Drax one, the number one, I've actually added that to the challenge. I did pick up just a couple shares, threw that in so we can sort of see how that goes. And I'll tell you, and this is kind of one of those things, like a lot of times when I'm making these, some of the stocks I find are really, really good. And they end up going into my challenge or into my portfolio in one way, shape, or form. Stocks like, well, a year ago, I was telling everybody about these stocks called Hammond. And people were like, what? Hammond? Who's Hammond? Nobody knew who Hammond was. But now look at it. Everybody knows who Hammond is. So, definitely one of these could be the next Hammond. I don't know. We'll have to see. Muhammad says, I just got 5 shares of Ultra, 50 of NEP, 50 of KHC, and waiting for the rest. Nice. Trevor saying, hello, fellow banana breaders. And Trevor likes CEU. Absolutely. Yeah, there was quite a few in there that I liked. Now, I did have one person that said, you know what? They said, when I look at their total max, there's a few of them that had kind of some stuff concerning. And you know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes when you're looking at a company like these are smaller companies, for the most part. When you go far enough back, sure, you're going to find some turmoil because that's part of the growing pains to getting where things are going. So I'm not super concerned about that, to be honest. Enid says, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We got Vic in the house. We got Krishna in the house. 9 says, my massive penny worth of QQCC is now worth 5 cents. What? How? I don't want to know how you turned 1 penny into 5 cents. I mean, you had to have added a couple more pennies. Yeah, you added a couple more pennies, 9. You did. I know you did. Paul says hello. Vic says, holy shopping spree, Mohammed. Yeah, look at that. Gotta love it when you get a little bit of a shopping spree. Vic says, Candace, you even called the Canucks Oilers series. I did. I had it all on Edmonton. Now, of course, they're now the only Canadian team left. So they got my 100% devotion the rest of the playoffs. I won't watch them, but, because, I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I will definitely cheer for them on the sides. And yeah, there you go. You added the 4 cents. All right. That's cool. Paul said, who won hockey? In the, the conference semifinal, the last 2 Canadian teams were Vancouver and Edmonton. They went to Game 7. Edmonton won. So Vancouver is gone. Vancouver tends to underperform in the playoffs anyway. And Edmonton is the opposite. So it's a no-brainer that Edmonton won that. But Vancouver gave it a good run. They get credit for that. Muhammad said, and 200 PZA just got filled. Hopefully at a nice price. Now, PZA, Sir Roy, sorry, that's Pizza. I was thinking, well, for some reason, they're both restaurant royalty companies, but I do have PZA. PZ. I just want to keep saying Z, but PZA. I do have Pizza. They are a fantastic stock. And right now they are a bargain where they're at because that whole sector has faced a little bit of trouble once we do get some rate cuts. And we're going to talk about rate cuts a little bit later on the other side of the bell. Then, yeah, there's going to be some really interesting things going on. Oh, gosh, we got Skiz. Skiz is back in the house. Hello from the other side, people. Hi, Candace. Good to see you, Skiz. Good to see you. Everybody remembers Skiz and how we just couldn't win a free membership back in the day. You know what? Just the fact that he is here, I'll give him one more try. Why not? All right, let's let's drop I'm going to drop a free membership. We'll just see for old time's sakes if Skiz can pull it out. If Skiz can actually come back and just happen to win it. We'll see. We'll see. Vic says Canada, get behind the Oilers. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. All right, who's gonna win? Skiz, it's not you. It's Jonathan Montgomery. So Jonathan, who is late today. Normally he's asking if he's late, but today he is. Today he's late. Oh dear. And yes, foiled again. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's it. It just goes that way. I don't know why. Vic says watching eating all dressed chips. 9 says I call them the choke nucks. The chokey nucks. Or yeah, the choke nucks. Yeah. Dear. Vic said I slept on S-Bucks. Yeah. Ooh, speaking of coffee, Vic, I should have some in my famous Starbucks mug that everyone loves. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm paying attention. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the bell. No riot. And Trevor's in here with a welcome back, Skiz. So definitely good to see you. And Paul says, how can a family afford to order pizza anymore? Even McDonald's, Wendy's, A&W cost a lot. Last time for 3 at A&W was $44. Holy banana bread. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. And 9 says, I've never won a membership either. That's an injustice. That is a injustice, 9. You should have won one. Yeah, this is one of these things. There are people who are here all the time. They are, through thick and thin, and they absolutely deserve to win. But I can't control it. It's completely 100% random. So I will, like right now, I'm going to try this one more time. We'll try it one more time for 9. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Here we go. It's processing. It's processing. All right. So hopefully 9 or Skiz, one of you needs to win. Let's see who does it. And Allison won. So look at this. It's like somebody who I've seen her comments a few times, but you guys have both, well, 9 particularly, because Skiz, you kind of disappeared for a little bit. But 9, yeah, you definitely deserve to win. I don't understand how the algorithm does it. Enid says, hi, Skiz, we missed you. And Vic says, I anchor my week with Wednesday and Sunday live stream. Oh, there we go. And keep in mind, Vic, we're going to have a bonus live stream on Friday. So we'll be back here again on Friday, because I know that sometimes you miss the bonus ones because you're like, wait a minute, I forgot there was a bonus one. So no excuse this time, Vic. Friday, we will be back here again. We're about 20. We're about 40 seconds away from the bell. Okay, Skiz says, nice to pick off where we left off. Yes, yes. With the free memberships, just avoiding Skiz. I do not understand it. I do think that they do need to be more like Twitch. So on Twitch, like even let's say Paul is sitting there and it's like, I want Skiz to have a membership. Paul could actually buy one and airmail it to Skiz. but you can't do it here. It's all up to the almighty algorithm. It's almost time, guys. It is almost. Oh, here it is. Woo! And the market on this red day is closed. Woohoo! Yeah, we've done it. We've gotten through another day, and the market is absolutely closed. All right, Paul says, are not allowed to have your phone on the retail floor at work, waiting for a cheap smart watch to arrive in the mail so I can measure steps included at work after an 8-hour shift. It sure feels like a lot. I imagine, because you're probably doing more than just walking back and forth. I imagine you're going up and down, getting things, because there's a lot of high stuff, in those type of stores that customers may want you to get. So you're probably going up and down and sideways. Oh dear, Paul. Yeah, you probably get your steps in for sure. Jackie says, my niece was here for the long weekend. We ordered 2 large pizzas from Pizza. It was $30, and they threw in 4 Cokes. Well, that's not so bad. It was good pizza, not a bad price. I own PZA also. Yeah, so sometimes you can get, if you check the deals, you can sometimes get some really good deals. I know every so often Jill gets a buy one, get one free on like Uber Eats and things like that. So there are deals out there. You just have to sort of look for them. And in a way, like, when you go, if you're saying, I want burgers, look at McDonald's. If McDonald's doesn't have a deal, then check Burger King or check A&W. See which ones have a deal, especially if you're ordering it through the app. Don't settle for a no deal. Definitely get a deal. Jerski's in the house with a hello, good afternoon. And yes, the good old bell. Jonathan, you missed the bell. You're late again. Holy banana bread. Jonathan, not only did you miss the bell, you also won a membership, and you missed that too. So, congratulations on that. Just to let you know. All right, let's take our final look at the market for the day. I'm just going to pull this all up. Let's get to the right screen. Boop, boop. Here we go. All right, our final. So the TSX ended up 0.5% down, so 0.54%. Same thing with the S&P 500, 0.27 down. So what can I say? NASDAQ down just a wee bit. Gold down 1.7%, and silver 3.48. So that's silver. So silver's doing good. I do like silver. I am pretty bullish on silver. WTI is down a little bit. Part of that is there have been some whisperings that the U.S. Strategic Reserve is starting to fill up again. So because of that, we're looking at a little bit of panic about oil and oil prices, but I'm not too concerned. Because, oh, excuse me. If oil were to start falling down, the price start coming down, I have a feeling OPEC will probably step in and cut more production because they're liking the price where it's at now. So I don't think they want to see it go down any further. And Bitcoin still struggling at where it's at. Well, I wouldn't even call it struggling. I mean, here is that Bitcoin. Right now, remember what I mentioned here? Let's just give me a second here. I'm going to pull this over here. This is my channel thing. But we'll just come up here. There we go. Oh, this thing can be annoying sometimes. But yeah, so we're starting to create a brand new channel here. All right, we'll just bring it in here like this. I can, I'll look at it a little bit later. I'll straighten it out and everything. But you can have a channel that is sort of in a slant. So this is kind of where we're doing. We're hitting between these highs and these lows. So what that means is if we do break up, we're probably looking at, we're probably about 72. If we break down, we'll retest these supports down here. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. And by Friday, this should have broken one way or another. I have a feeling by Friday it probably will. So we'll be able to take a look and we'll see which way we go. I'm kind of leaning towards the up. This time. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a final look at the heat maps. So once again, Canada, you got a whole bunch of red. Now there were companies that did okay today. I'm getting rid of the ones who have done awful. So yeah, like look at this. Nutriem is doing fine. Shopify, Alimentation Couche-Tard, even routers managed to just get above the number line. And we got, of course, Torlamine is doing okay, up 1.26%. Not too bad. Now Torlamine has, I'm going to bring these guys up. So they have been kind of rising lately since since the beginning of this year, but oil's also been doing better. Torlamine did announce special dividends this year. So you get not just your quarterly dividend. So instead of the 4 that you normally get, you're going to get 8 with Torlamine. So that's not too shabby. So not too shabby at all. I kind of wish, I got out back up in here and it would have been nice to have gotten back in, but and get those extra dividends. But if you do hold them, that's fantastic. So you will have that opportunity. All right, let's get out of Torlamine and yeah. So anyway, that's just kind of the interesting market for today. Let's pull up the US side. Once again, we got a little bit of red, but here, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not doing that bad. So NVIDIA right now is just, they're still kind of moving up. And tomorrow is that day, right? Tomorrow is the day they're going to release their earnings. And are they going to break? Here's the 1,000 mark. Break 1,000? I think they are. Anybody in the chat think they're not going to break 1,000? So if you think, nope, they're not going to do it, they're going to fall short, post it in chat. I'd love to hear for sure. All right. And the crypto map, once again, all red, except for, there's probably some other coins in here. Ocean Protocol, there we go, or Terra Classic. Or look at this, Live Peer up 18.01%. Who would have figured? I mean, I don't even know who Live Peer is, so I don't know. But yeah, and then, here's a meme stock for sure. Book of Meme. Oh, God. When it comes to crypto, I'm happiest sticking to the tried and true coins. Basically, coins that have survived the last crypto winter. Things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, of course, Polkadot, Solana, even Cardano, XRP, some of these, the ones that we all know about. And I hate to say this, even Dogecoin, if you need to have a meme stock, that's probably not a bad one to have. So just something to keep in mind. Whew. All right, let's get caught up in chat. We'll get rid of this. There we go. We'll get rid of the big screen and we will jump back in. Paul says, on Monday, I joked at work that I made way more than an 8-hour shift at work, but I also said crypto can go down the same amount in a day. Yeah, absolutely. When you're looking at that volatility, you can make a lot of money in one day, or you can lose a lot of money. It really comes down to how you play it. So, for example, yesterday with the Bitcoin ETFs that I play, I basically yesterday I made about $300 just playing the up and down that was happening. So that's not too shabby. I like days like that. But yeah, there are days when things just don't go right on the market, and it's kind of how you play it. But it's also whether or not you do, like for example, if Bitcoin goes down and you're like, and you go and sell your Bitcoin or your, whatever the asset is, well, you're realizing a loss then. When you take something like Bitcoin that's going to go up and down, you don't want to be getting off at the bottom. You want to be getting off at the top if you're going to get off. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Yes, and Jonathan has won. Jonathan has absolutely won. Y Videos is in the house. Good to see you, Y. Hi, Candace and all. And the video results soon. Watching with a 16-minute delay. right, trying to get caught up. Trying to get caught up. All right, cool. Jackie says 3 months ago I bought a silver coin at Costco for $369. I checked today and now it's $489. Holy banana bread. Yeah, yeah. Silver has been on a tear. Silver has absolutely been on a tear. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Sammer here is saying smash the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, just do me a favor. Take a second. I'll have a sip of coffee while you guys do it, but slam that like button. Let's make sure we've all hit it. I mean, it just goes. It helps the algorithm. It makes the YouTube gods happy. Oh, so good. It is definitely good. And the funny thing is, I'm drinking coffee on a day when the humidity's here in Ottawa today, 38 degrees Celsius. 38. So, I imagine most of you in Ontario are probably getting similar temperatures. Let me know. Let me know. And I'm sure there's going to be some of you who probably can throw up some temperatures that are going to make us go, okay, the 38's not so bad. Let me know. Let me know what's going on where you are. All right. Mario says, I love my Tourmaline stock. Yeah, absolutely. It is a great stock. I feel bad that I actually sold out of it, but I do make, as a trader, I sometimes make moves. And to me, that was one that I probably, if I thought I didn't foresee, I will honestly say I did not foresee them doing a second straight year of special dividends. So because I missed that, if I knew that that was going to happen, I would absolutely have not gotten out of Tourmaline. Paul says the inflows into the BTC ETFs have been positive for 5 days or so now. Even GBTC is now positive inflows. Wisconsin Pension Fund bought $100 of Bitcoin ETFs. Just $100? That doesn't sound like a lot, Paul. But yeah, there has been a lot of movement into it, and people are getting. It's kind of funny. Bitcoin is that funky little asset where when it's doing better, like right now, people are all going crazy over it. But people turn on Bitcoin so fast. So when it hits a volatility spike to the downside, I see people just absolutely panicking. And I know there's people that, that are basically selling their Bitcoin at a loss. And then they get all excited when it's starting to go back up again. They end up buying back in and they end up, it's just crazy. It's one of these things that, that volatility is hopefully you should know that the volatility is part of the package and you got to hold on. You just got to grab it when it goes down and hold on because it's going to come back up. It's like a roller coaster. So, you don't sort of, as you're going down, you don't say, oh my God, I got to get off and undo the seatbelt. Oh God, that's never good. All right. Sammer says, more institutions and companies are buying BTC. So it will always go up, even when it goes down. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. And keep in mind too, we just had the halvening. So right now, the amount of Bitcoin that the miners are getting is half of what they got before. That hasn't yet really shown up in the price of Bitcoin because it normally takes months. It can be anywhere from you might see a little bit in a month, but you're probably looking at the fall when you're really going to see some of these crazy movements on Bitcoin. Then how long that will last. So we will have another retracement. We will have another big fall at one point. But each big fall is going to be, it's not going to go down to where the last big fall was. They're always going to be, they're always going to be higher each fall. And that's just the way it works with this coin. So here's that thing, when we're looking. So let's just say, for example, I'll tell you right now, if I have any assets in Bitcoin the day it hits 100K, probably around 99,900, I will sell every single one. I will completely sell all of them. And because, I'll tell you why, because 100K USD is going to be a psychological level. So a lot of people will be like, I'm taking profits. And when it does hit 100, you're going to have a lot of selling pressure. Sorry, you'll have a lot of selling pressure, and it will drive that price back down. So the smart money is going to sell. They will, so that will add to the selling pressure. And then once it goes down and people start panicking because it starts to fall, and people start selling willy-nilly and start taking losses, as it gets down to the bottom and gets ready to retrace back up, all of that smart money that's sold up at 100K, maybe they're all buying back in. Maybe it only falls down to like 80K, but they'll be buying back there. And then, with the same amount of money that they sold at the top, they then have more Bitcoin than they had initially. So when it gets back up to 100K again, they actually have more money than if they had not made that move. So that's kind of one of those things that does happen. So you have to kind of be prepared for stuff like that. All right. Bismarcky says, I buy a little SHIB coin every week, better than playing the lottery. Well, yeah, the lottery is, don't get me started on the lottery. It's, some people call it an idiot tax. I don't call it an idiot tax, but it's, you got to really like odds, and you got to really like losing if you play the lottery, because, you're not going to win. You may win the occasional little thing here and there. But when you look at it over your lifetime, if you've been playing the lottery your whole life, you will be out a lot of money. It's just as simple as that. Mohammed says, NVIDIA PE ratio is around 37. It's risky. Not for me. I collected profits at 860 and I'm not regret selling it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But keep in mind, a large PE ratio, it can show that a company is growing and expanding. And NVIDIA has been expanding. They have been growing like crazy as they are adding new lines to their chips. Like if you remember from the last big presentation. So we have to sort of see how that's going to look. But I have faith in NVIDIA, but I respect everybody who thinks that maybe it's going to go the other way. Candace, have you taken any gains from crypto? I'm always taking gains from crypto, like constantly. Like I said, when I do my trading, I'm playing crypto ETFs, so I'm going up and down. I'm playing them up and down. All of the extra money that generates pretty much goes on the bills. That's how I survive. Like, YouTube, I don't make very much on YouTube. Like all of this stuff that I am doing, I probably make a good month $300, a bad month maybe 200. So between 200 and 300 a month, but it is growing, a little bit every month. So as the channel gets bigger and bigger, that will continue to get bigger as well. But it takes a long time to be able to, to not have to do something on the side to support yourself when you're a YouTuber. Paul says 100 million above for pension fund. Eek, yeah, that's a lot. Vic says, how do you sell back the Costco gold and silver? You could probably go to like a dealer, I imagine. I don't think like Costco's not going to buy it back from you. So you would have to go to like a rare metals dealer. And even then, like, even though something may be worth, like, let's say she bought it, I think at 350 and it's worth 460. They may not give you the 460 because they're going to want a profit as well. So you might only get like maybe 425 from them. You'll still get a profit, but it depends. And that's why it's really good to make sure that you have a reputable one that's not going to really rip you off big time, because a lot of the sort of pop up overnight, I want your gold type shops, they will rip you off really like big time. Anybody who will do like a sort of a funky commercial on the television talking about buying your gold with people dancing with gold and stuff, they're probably going to really, really rip you off. So you want to look around. And that's why I would always recommend talking to people who have sold their gold or sold their silver. Use the Discord. We got a few people in the community that are, pretty heavy into the physical. So Paul says, where's the edit button when you miss one word that changes what you were trying to say? Yeah, with a live chat, unfortunately, once you hit enter, it's too late. Although I think you can like click on your chat and you can retract it, I think. So let's say if you accidentally you meant to say the puck stops here, and instead of a P, you accidentally auto corrected it to an F. You well, one, it probably won't even show up because I think the filter on here would actually pull that out anyway. But if it did show up, I think you can just go in and you can sort of delete it and then just retype it, type thing. Let's see. Trevor says I sold out mine. TOU. Two. I sold out mine too. All right. Paul says, I have ridden the BTC ETFs up and down and held on. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the smartest way to do it. So when I'm doing it, for example, like I'm using technical analysis. So if you remember, let's pull this back up. Let's get back here. So I will use this channel here. So right now you can see, well, right now the market's closed, so I can't do it. But right now, this is Bitcoin itself. So when Bitcoin is up towards the top of this channel, I'm going to sell. So tomorrow, if it gets near the top of the channel, I will sell unless it breaks out. If it starts to break out, because what I will normally do is I won't just the second it hits the top of the channel, I'm not going to sell it immediately because, it may break out. What I will do is I will set a stop loss. So for just below the top of the channel. So once I have my stop loss in place and it goes up, if it falls back to that stop loss, it will sell. If it doesn't, and it does break out, well, I'm good. I still have it. But then once it does sell up here and it falls back down, well, then I will usually in the bottom part here, I will look down around here. And when it gets back down around here, I'll buy it again. Then I'll wait for it to come back up. I'll have a stop loss. And if it breaks, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to sell and do it all over again. So rinse and repeat. That's kind of the way I play it. So just, but you kind of need to have an idea what you're doing and you can't panic at all because the second, it does something like, for example, sometimes like if I forgot my stop loss and it does break a little bit above here, the panic is going to be, oh my God, I've missed my moon ride. I need to get in now. Well, if I get in now, I'm taking, for me, that would be considered a loss because I'm going to have fewer shares than what I had down here. So if it's a situation where it does take off and I'm not on it, then I'll wait for it to retract. I'll wait for it to come back down and then I will, then I'll buy in. And sometimes you have to be patient. And sometimes it could take 3 hours, could take half a day to get back down so you can get back on again. So just one of those things to keep in mind. All right, let's get rid of that for a moment. 9 says BTCY is easier for me to hold because it pays a distribution. Yes, that is so true. So with BTCY, that is the purpose high yield Bitcoin or the purpose Bitcoin yield fund. I believe their dividend yield right now is about, I think, a 7 point something %. So it's in that vicinity. So it does pay you out monthly. So what that does do is it does cap a tiny bit how much you can make with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes on an absolute tear, you're going to make a little bit less value-wise on BTCY than what you would have made on something like a BTCC, which is not using covered calls, which is just a straight representation of Bitcoin's price. But you do make up for it with those dividends, and it's not too shabby. Like I actually have BTCY into the 0 to 100K. Now, some people have said, well, why don't you just get the regular? Why don't you just do a regular one? And the reason for that is that I like having these dividends. So when I'm doing, if you guys remember, if you guys saw that video where I was talking a little bit about sort of passive, passive redistribution of my funds, I use those dividends on things that I'm over diversified in, and I move them to things that I'm less diversified in. So I do use those through the month to sort of help push me towards my diversification goals. All right. Y says, watching on Edge browser, can't see the like button. I opened on Chrome just to be able to like. Oh, that is awesome, Y. See, that That's dedication, folks. That is dedication. Mario says, Vic, when you sell your Boolean, you will lose the spot fee. Okay, so there you go. You're going to lose something. And Y says, that's one of the reasons why I like to buy physical ETFs like PSLV, CEF, and PHYS. No need to find a precious metals buyer. Exactly, exactly. Although I will say, we had a silver story, I think it was not last weekend, but the weekend before on this week. With the price of silver going pretty crazy, one of the interesting things is that a lot of that money was going into actual physical silver opposed to, some of the ETFs. Now the ETFs are still doing fine. Like well, in the last video on Tuesdays, there was one of the, I think number 5. It was, they had a lot of silver and they're doing fine. So you can definitely do okay with the ETFs. It's just a lot of people right now, it's getting so hyped. And plus with things like Costco putting the silver right there, you're pushing your shopping cart in and it's like, oh, I can get some silver. Although I don't think it's quite that easy because from what I hear, they can't keep the product on their shelf. So it's going to be fun, definitely. And that means it's time for another sip of the good old coffee. All right, one thing I did want to talk about. So we've been talking about rate cuts with the Bank of Canada, and it's kind of an interesting situation. So I had mentioned on the weekend that one of the big important dates was Tuesday because we had our CPI coming out. And yeah, we did have it coming out. And actually, I'm going to pull this up here. Give me a second. We'll bring this up. We'll go over to, I'll just open a new screen here. All right, let's go to the Canada calendar. Perfect. And here we go. Here is our CPI up in here. So let's take a look here. So the CPI, we were forecasting it coming in at 2.8%. It came in at 2.7%. Fantastic. So it is, for all intents and purposes, it is slowing faster than we were expecting. So even the regular core CPI, we were expecting a 2% forecast. It came in at a staggering 1.6%. So that is really, really, really good. So this is fantastic. So we are actually looking at, we're looking at what we wanted to see. So here's the thing, though. When it comes to whether or not we'll get that June rate cut, we did have the strong jobs data. That if that jobs data had been flat, it'd be a no-brainer. I think we would have had a June rate cut, no problem, especially with this CPI. But with that being strong, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing the situation where the Bank of Canada is sort of looking at it and says, well, our economy can still survive a little bit longer. So I'm still leaning towards, and I hate to say it, because I've been very adamant, I think for a long time, that we're probably going to see it in June. And I'm still hoping that it's June. I'm hoping that my moving to my flip-flopping to July is a mistake. I'm hoping it's a mistake. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I do think we're starting to see, I think things are lining up for July. I think what it's going to be is that the Bank of Canada is going to be very happy with the CPI rating. We'll pull it back here. I just was pulling this up here just to show you guys that. Here we go. So I think the Bank of Canada, they're going to be happy with these numbers. I think they're going to be like, yeah, this is exactly what we need. But let's string 2 of these together, maybe. Let's, just push a couple more together, just to be sure that we're on the right trajectory. With the strength in the jobs market, we can, Canada can withstand 1 more month of the higher rates. That's where I think they're going to come into. I don't think there's even really a chance that it won't be July, unless they do a shock. If they do June, though, they won't do both. They were not going to do both June and July. I think they're only going to do one, and then you'll have to wait to the fall and see how things go. But part of the reason too, with the red market today, so we're talking a little bit about the Fed the Fed minutes causing it. Now, on the Canadian side, one of the funny things is because the CPI was so positive, there's a lot of investors who are sort of in this camp where they're thinking, oh, well, now a June cut might be back on the table. And we're worried about what that's going to do to the Canadian dollar. So that's kind of part of the panic on this side of the border within that red today. So basically, people who are sort of subscribing to the whole camp that, if we cut before the US does, it's going to really hurt the Canadian dollar, which will hurt our buying power. Here's the thing. We have, and the Bank of Canada has been very clear about this, we have a pretty good buffer when it comes to how far we can verge away from the US rate, and we're not there yet. So we do have some headroom that we can use. So I think we're fine for that, but there's a lot of people out there that will, and maybe even a few of you are thinking, no, I think it's going to hurt us. I think it's going to hurt the Canadian dollar. And it's a fair, assumption, but, unless the Bank of Canada is wrong. And I will say they were wrong when they said that inflation was transitory. So they definitely can be wrong. But on this here, we have had bigger diversions and where we would be if we did cut first. But what I do think is and I still kind of stand by this. So let's say whether we do it June or July, and I'm leaning to July, we're not going to cut again for a while. So, definitely not the rest of we won't be cutting in August because there is no meeting in August. But I think a lot of it then is we're going to start looking at the states. Like I have a feeling for our second cut, we want to see the US making that first cut when we do our second. So I think we'll kind of hold off. Now, there's always the possibility if we're getting close to the end of the year and the US is pretty much committed to cutting early in 2003, there's a chance we could go two, but I'm highly doubtful. I'm highly doubtful of that. I'm really thinking we'll do one, we'll wait, let them have a turn, and then we'll come in. We may cut at the same time. When they do their first, we could do our second, but right now, the overall goal of, for Canada is to eventually get our interest rate down to probably about 3%. I don't see it going below 3%. I think 3% is where we'll eventually get. But I think they'll take it slow because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to be aggressive with the rate cutting and get yourself into a situation where all of a sudden inflation starts to rear its head back up. So you want people to be not too excited. So by doing one rate cut now, it at least gives people a little bit of hope. It does help a little bit. But because we're not doing back-to-backs, because we're holding off for a bit longer, it will still keep people, I think, in a more or less not going out and spending the farm type scenario. And that, of course, is good for inflation not happening. It's good for keeping inflation under check and under control. Vic says, so will interest drop and house prices and stocks go up? It's going to be interesting. So one of the things is that when interest rates drop, you got a couple of things. So rents, technically, that should, help them a little bit because landlords, if they're paying less interest, it means that there's not as much pressure to keep raising rents. But when it comes to actual house prices, if you start lowering interest rates, it can cause house prices to go back up. But here's the thing. I think a single quarter, like if you just, lower by a 25 basis points, I don't think that's going to be a big enough catalyst to really have much impact on either, to be honest. People will talk about it. People will speculate about it, but I don't think it's going to actually do it. So I think we're good on that front, which is fantastic. So, we'll have to sort of go with that. Whew. All right. All right, guys, drop some questions in there for me while I'm waiting for some questions. Let's take a look and see what we got coming up on the schedule this week. We'll head on over to Discord and we'll head to the schedule. Here we are. right here. Oh, look at that. I haven't even updated the schedule yet. Let's get rid of let's get rid of all of that right there. Bang, gone. We didn't even get rid of the market close because we're here. We know what's happening. Bang. All right. VDY, by the way, whoops. They won the ETF deep dive. So we'll be doing deep dive coming out for VDY. That will be on Friday. We also, of course, have our bonus market close on Friday. You guys won that on Sunday. You guys were just out of control on Sunday. It was great. I love it when you guys are out of control. So yeah, we got that coming up. We also, and I got to get something out soon, next week. So the following Friday is going to be the channel members choice video. So they'll vote on a topic and I will make the video. You all get to watch the video though. They just get to tell me what it's going to be. So that'll be fun. So I'll get something out this week to get it to sort of get some ideas from them so that we can get a poll going for that. Of course, those of you who are not channel members, if you want your input on this, channel membership is basically both the cost. Actually, it's less than the cost of a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee, 1 cup of coffee a day. So for a month, you give up 1 cup of coffee, you become a channel member, you get all of that input. You get a bunch of stuff. You'll get to watch videos early, all of this fun stuff. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So I can't wait to see what they're going to get me to do. And as we head into the week, that means the next 0 to 100K is coming out. That's on June 4th. And I am planning to do an RESP video. Where do I want to put it? That's the question. Probably this week after this. So when I put the next week in, we'll probably do the RESP video because I've had a few people who have been clamoring for one of those for a while. So I do want to get that out. And I also have a retirement video on that I'm planning as well. That's going to come up. All right, now let's get back here. We'll move out of here. Vic says, I'm riding out in cash.to ETF and hoping for a market drop. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, we're going to actually, in the next 0 to 100K, we're going to look at cash ETF. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Does the loss of Iran president mean anything? Yeah, they need a new president. But no, I mean, right now it was mechanical. Nobody actually did it. If somebody was behind it, then yeah, it would have some serious ramifications. But from the looks of things, it was just an accident, and that's not going to really impact a lot. Now, depending on who gets in power, maybe that softens things up, or maybe it harshens things up. We don't know. So we'll have to sort of look and see who the next president is. Vic says gas jumped, but Costco selling 20 cents per liter less today. Oh, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. 9 says I'm about 55% cash ETFs and T-bills in my brokerage accounts. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the cash ETFs are fantastic. So I'm probably, like right now, what I did at the beginning of the month is I put everything into cash.to. And I have pulled out 9 of, I think I put in 10. I pulled out 9 of them. And that one, I'm going to leave 1 in there just to carry over every month anyway, just as a placeholder. Plus, I'll get the 5% on that. So that's always fantastic. Vic says, what's an RDSP? So that there is a retired disability savings plan. So it's kind of interesting. RDSPs work very similar to RESPs. There's a bit of there's some differences, some subtle differences, but the same general idea with both the RESP and the RDSP. You make contributions and you don't have to be the owner. So you could be making it, let's say, for example, you had a disabled child. You can make contributions to an RDSP for them. The government will, they'll match up to a certain amount, some of those donations. So you can get a bunch of free money from the government in it. Same thing with our ESP. The government will give you grants as well towards your child's education. And you could have both. Like if you have a disabled child, you could get an RDSP and an RESP. There's no rules against having both. But it's kind of interesting. It's just a way that you can really sort of build towards their future and give them a bit more assurance as they, because once they get, I think you have to be 55 before you can start pulling out of the RDSP. Well, you can pull out before, but then you will actually lose some of the grants. Like you'll have to pay back some grants, so you kind of have to wait. But yeah, that's what an RDSP is. So just putting that out there for you. Whew. It's time for some more coffee. I still have coffee left, which is fantastic. So we're still ticking away, by the way, towards 4,000. Once we get to 4,000, it's going to be a long day for me because we're going to do an open to close. So it will definitely, it'll definitely be interesting. And Jackie says, "Can I get an RESP for my nephew?" You can. You don't have to be the parent. So, but I'll break this all down. When I do the RESP video, I'll break down exactly how it all works and all the intricacies. And we're not looking like Jackie will have one of these. Like I said, we'll do it in June. It will be done in June. So I'll break it all down for you. 4,000 what? Subscribers. So at 4,000 subs. So every time we hit a milestone, so like at 1,000 subs, we did we did a drinking stream, and I don't drink. So it didn't take me long to get 3 sheets to the wind, let's just say. So we did a drinking stream at 1,000. At 2,000 subs, we did the Hot Ones challenge. So I got to breathe fire on air. At 3,000 subs. 3,000 was, we did I did a news parody video. So that was kind of that one was probably lame. I'll admit that one was lame compared to the other ones, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed making it. I think it's a funny video. Not a lot of action on it. A lot of people were just like, yeah, okay, I'm not here for the news parody. I want real news. But yeah. But if you have always dreamed of seeing a picture of Pierre Trudeau of Justin Trudeau looking for some votes, that's the video for you. So now the next one is 4,000, and yeah, we went with a nice big one to make up for the last one. It's going to be an open to close, so we'll start 15 minutes before the opening bell. And we'll run for until about 15 minutes after the closing bell. So, that's like what, 8 hours or something like that, or 7.5 hours. Yeah, so that's going to be a massive stream. So I'm probably going to have little videos in the middle of the stream. So little videos, I'll make a couple of pre-recorded ones so that way there I can have bathroom breaks and things like that. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm already starting to think about it because right now we're sitting at, I think we're at 3654. So basically 346 away. So we're getting there. And, if one video absolutely explodes, you can sometimes get an insane amount of people popping in really fast. So we'll see. I'm still thinking it's going to happen, definitely happen in the summer. But how quickly into the summer, I don't know. So it'll be fun. It will be absolutely fun. I imagine after 7 hours of talking, I'll probably have to I probably won't be able to talk for 2 days after I do it. So yeah, it will be absolutely cool. All right. Whew, I think we're getting close to the end here. If you guys got any of your last minute questions, drop them in now before we go, and we'll address them as always. And hopefully, oh, here we go. We got Ambas says, how is one charged MER for mutual funds and ETFs? An advisor informed they charge 1% annually to clients similar to those. I haven't been charged directly, so wasn't sure. Thanks in advance. Okay, so when you're looking at any kind of management fees of any sort, the way they're charged with, we'll work with ETFs. It's similar with mutual funds. Is that, let's say, for example, you look at the growth of that ETF. Well, the ETF actually grew a tiny bit more. But that's where you've lost that percentage of the management fee. So what they've done is, so let's say, for example, let's say they have dividends that come in on that ETF. So let's say it has a 1% fee. Well, they'll take that 1% out of the dividends, and then they'll calculate what they're giving to you after that. But it's all done before it gets to you. So it's not a situation where it's sitting in your account and all of a sudden they come in and say, yeah, I'm taking 1% out of your account. They don't do that. They take it from the potential returns on that ETF that you could have had. So when you look at, let's say, we'll look at, let's see, HYLD. So, and here, I'll pull it up here. Let's just take a look here. I know I'm here somewhere. All right, so HYLD. All right, so this is the Hamilton Enhanced U.S. Covered Call ETFs. So this one here, you got a distribution yield. So your yield on it is 11.01%. Now I don't know what the management fee is off the top of my head on this one, but we'll guess. Well, we won't guess. Give me a second here. Let's give me a second. All right. What is the management fee on HYLD.to? That's a simple question. I'm sure ChatGPT can do it. So, all right. Come on, ChatGPT. You're supposed to be faster than this. Oh, seriously? I picked the wrong one. Apparently, it's been permanently reduced to 0%. That's odd. I hadn't heard that, so we'll, yeah, exactly. But it's actually, so GID says, yeah, they've reduced it to 0, but that's probably the management fee. But the management expense ratio, so the MER, is probably 2.5. So they're still getting their money out of it. So when you look at this, all right, so you've got a yield of 11%, so 11.01%. But when Hamilton, they hold other ETFs. So those ETFs, those US ETFs, will provide them with, the normal returns and also all the dividends on them. So when they take that pile of dividends, they will then take that 2.5% out of those dividends. So that money's gone. And then they'll calculate what they have, and they'll be like, we can do 11% yield. So they'll do that. So, when you're getting paid your 13.8 cents every month, the percentage is already gone. So it's kind of, and it's funny because a lot of times they're not clear. They're never clear about this. I know when I first started investing, I was almost expecting like, okay, well, I need to make sure I leave money in my account for when they start coming in for management fees. But no, they take it all. They take it all before you get anything. So what you're getting in your account, that's yours. They're not going to take it. Now the government will take it if it's not in a registered account. So if you're holding it in a non-registered account, they'll take it. But not all of it, but they'll take their share. So just something to keep in mind. All right. GID says, when do you think this bull market will top? I'm thinking longest election because of the uncertainty, but maybe earlier. I don't feel like we're fully into the bull market yet. So keep in mind too, bull markets do tend to go longer than bear markets historically. So I don't think it's going to top this year. I don't think you have to worry about it this year. Next year we'll take a look and we'll see how things are looking. But I'm not seeing us going back into a bear market for a while. So just a thought. At least this year, maybe even next year we might have. And it doesn't have to. I mean, you can go from a strong bull market into sort of a weaker bull market before you move into once again back into like a bear market. But I don't see it happening this year at all. But keep in mind, here's the thing. Anybody who thinks they know what's going to happen, you're still it's still speculation, no matter what. So I don't think we're going to go into a bear market this year, but all of a sudden tomorrow out of the blue, bang, we could go straight into a bear market, or we could go straight to the moon. I mean, it can happen at any time. Sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason as to when it'll happen. But when you're playing with all of the economic data, you're watching how things are moving, it does tend to give you a little bit of a better probability on what's going to happen. So even if you have a 90% chance that we're staying in a bull market for a year, sometimes the 10% happens. You got to keep that in mind. But when you do play percentages, you're usually more right. More times you're right than you're wrong. That's kind of what you're looking for. But trust me, I will be wrong with something, and it will happen to each and every one of you. Each and every one of you will be wrong. If you're not, then holy banana bread. That's all I can say. Any thoughts about Goodfellow? I already own some, and it still looks cheap. Thinking about buying some more. So GDL, well, we're already here. Let's pull them up. Goodfellow. I had them in a list once, actually. Here we go. So 1460. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on here. So overall, this is not that bad of a trend. So they have been moving up. They've got a nice, they got a nice yield, 6.7%. Semi-annual. Some people get turned off on semi-annual because it's like, I have to wait for 6 months to get it, my thing. So that is kind of cool. But here's the thing. So these guys are lumber. And when you come to a house, well, look at what's happening. And I've already seen it. I'm already looking ahead, and I see a few things I want to address, but we'll get there. Lumber, I think, is going to do really well. So I would say that GDL will be fine. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mean 0.45? Okay, we did it as though it was We did it as though it was 2.5, but yeah, 0.45. It makes more sense. Mario says, "Can you look at the ETF HFG?" Okay, I can do that. HFG. Here we go. So this is the Hamilton Global Financials. All right, let's pull this up, and we'll pull it up for a year. There we go. Look at this. This is nice looking growth on this. We get a small yield, so they're not using covered calls. If they're using covered calls and they have a small yield like that, I would be shocked. But they're probably investing in, let's see here. So financial services located around the globe. I think this is probably a very nice, if you want good exposure to financials right across the board, so not just North America, this is probably the ETF for you. And look at this. This is really good growth. This is fantastic. This is a really good, I would say this is a good total return ETF. So that's a good one, Mario. Very, 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 very good one. Vic got some CDRs. So Adobe, and Lulu. AbbVie is down now too. And why? Why is in with the super sticker for 99 cents? Thank you, why? Always appreciate your support. And that 99 cents is going right into, I'll round it to $1. That $1's going into the 0 to 100K challenge. So, that's pretty darn cool. And Vic says NVIDIA just killed it. Oh, banana bread. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look and see what's going on with NVIDIA. Here we go. Well, that's not NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA right here. All right. So they closed at 949. And look at this. In after hour trading, they're at 986.52. But keep in mind, the earnings call is tomorrow. So this is just the warm up to those earning calls. So we'll have to see. So 986, look at that. That's just absolutely crazy. So those of you who can see, who don't have a large computer, if you're looking at this on your phone, you probably can't see this, but this little blue bar on the side, that's where they are after hours. So they're all the way up here at 987. So that's not too shabby, not too shabby at all. Yeah, and that's it. And it's a pre-earnings boom. They're getting ready. Holy banana bread. All right. GID says, how come earnings calendars like TradingView has a bunch of empty spots, even days after? Not sure. Not sure. I'd have to go looking at that to see what you're talking about. But nothing's ringing to mind at the moment. Vic says, reminds me of 1999, I tell you. Oh, yes. 1999. I'm trying to think what was going on in 1999. Well, there was the whole, there was that whole issue with Y2K. So that was going on. That was also the year that we were supposed to lose our moon with a nuclear accident up there. If you remember Space 1999. So it was basically September 13th, 1999, nuclear explosion threw the moon out of orbit. And then anyway, that was that show. It was I don't know if it was Canadian, but it kind of almost felt Canadian. Y Video says NVIDIA announces dividend hike and stock split. Oh, wow. That is interesting. That is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Holy banana bread. Oh, look at this. So they are, you see right here, it was telling me that it was Thursday, but they probably released it at close today. So that's why we're going up right now. All right, let's hit 1,000. I would like to hit that 1,000, but my God. So a dividend hike, that's very interesting. And the stock split, though, that's brilliant. That's actually brilliant because, I mean, that means that, well, basically, if they hit that 1,000, it means that they're hitting, 500, depending on if it's a 1 to 2. I don't know if it's a 1 to 2, or maybe they're even going to go further and do like a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 4. Who knows? Probably a 1 to 2. But oh man, these are fantastic. These are fantastic. And yeah, Vic is like, what's going on? I says the results for NVIDIA earnings beat forecasts. And we knew this. We knew that they were going to absolutely crush their expectations. So this is why I've been saying, yeah, they're going up. They're going up. I want them to hit 1,000. But keep in mind, this is just the preamble. When things open in the morning, holy banana bread, we're probably going to hit that 1,000. So you watch. It'll be fun to watch pre-market. Can you explain how prices change even outside of after hours, please? Sure. So not in Canada, but in the US, the markets, they close, but they don't. They have something called after hour trading. Now, normally after hour trading, it's a lot of the institutionals, they're able to do it. Some brokers may allow it or offer it. So, for example, Wealthsimple, you can do after-hour trading, or up here, National Bank, you can do after-hour trading, but you have to phone in your order. So they're a little bit more difficult, but that's what it is. So you got after hours and pre-hours or pre-market trading as well. So you get a couple of hours basically outside of the two market times, open and close, where you can do trading, and it's mostly used by institutional. So when something like this drops, this is all of them are after hour. All of the institutions who are buying up, they drove that price up to 986. So tomorrow when this opens, so let's say it doesn't go any higher than this. When it opens, that first candle is going to start right here. There'll be a big gap. And it will start right here, and it'll probably go up a bit higher, maybe to that 1,000. Then they might come down a little bit, but yeah, that's going to happen. So yeah, U.S. stocks have access to after-hour trading. Vic's talking about the tech exuberance of the stock market. Yeah, there was like all of that .com stuff. Like there were companies during the .com craze that they would just throw a .com on their name, and that was enough that people would just start dumping money into them, even though they may not even have a product. So there were companies all of a sudden getting these crazy evaluations. So of course, it was all going to come crashing down, and it did. Most of the companies in the .com bubble are gone. Obviously, the ones that did survive were things like Yahoo and Microsoft, of course, and it's just one of those things. It's kind of in Google. I don't know. Did Google? I think Google might have come in just after the dot-com bubble. I'm not 100% sure on Google, but yeah, absolutely. Big players can trade after hours. Yeah, that's it. Vic says Mogo Trade wants to charge $15 per month instead of a zero. What? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And it's funny. I keep getting Moo reaching out to me constantly. So not Mogo, but Moo. And I keep, because I've turned them down 3 times. But it's like anybody that, anybody reaches out to me multiple times like that, it sounds to me like there's desperation to take away some market from Wealthsimple. And unfortunately, I'm not going to promote somebody who charges commissions when there's really good options out there without paying commissions. Yeah, and Vic says, no thanks. I'll stick with Wealthsimple and National Bank Direct Brokerage. Can they move? Whoops. Can they move after hours? So yeah, you can buy, you can sell. The same as you can in hours. So people who have access to after hours, they're doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. Y Video says, Vic, there is real value behind NVIDIA, in my humble opinion. Not exactly like the tech bubble. And that is absolutely true. NVIDIA has set themselves up really well. They have pretty much, I don't want to call it a monopoly, but they kind of got a monopoly over the chipsets you need for AI. And that's huge. And here's the thing, they're not just stopping there. They keep on developing some new chips and they keep on innovating what they do have. And that's, to me, that's a huge, huge recipe for success. Yeah, NVIDIA, I think, really, really is positioned well in AI. And AI is not going away. AI is only going to get crazier as we go. So just something to keep in mind. I do want to do a special live stream for AI like I did with crypto that time. So no idea yet when. Hopefully the summer. It would be nice to do it over the summer. But I still have to talk to a couple people that I would hope to get on that show. All right, everybody. We've pushed the hour mark. We're up to an hour 18. I don't care. You guys had questions. I love answering them. That's what we're here for. But we'll be back again on Friday. We're going to do this all over again. We got a nice bonus market close. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, everybody, take care. We'll see you next time.